Hello and welcome to Red Tail Beast, where we are racing for the Audi S1 e-tron Quattro. Boy, that was a mouthful, I didn't say it very well. Also known as the Hoonatron, made famous by Ken Block. We will not do very much of these first races. Man, this thing is bad when the tires are that low. And we'll get more into what I think about this car and all that kind of stuff later on. Let's warp ahead to the end of this lap, which was a pretty seamless warp. You might not have even noticed that just happened. We skipped a whole lap. That's the end of the first race. Let's just keep this rolling. I'm skipping all of the story. Other people have the story. If you want to see it, go ahead and check it out. We won't do too much of this one either. I just wanted to switch this. It's interesting. They usually show you kilometers an hour. The car is in kilometers an hour. So it's very strange that they only listed miles per hour because the vast majority of the planet actually uses kilometers per hour. So, it's well over 90%. Anyway, I know both kilometers and miles per hour. I'm a little more comfortable with kilometers per hour, though. But anyways, you can just switch it whenever you want to. I was showing you how you switch between kilometers an hour and miles per hour. Now, at this point, I still have no upgrades, and this is the race that's making me realize I don't want to drive this car with no upgrades. It feels incredibly slow. It feels like a lot of electric cars, which is they feel kind of heavy and sluggish. Not all of them. The Lotus Avaya does not feel, it does feel a little bit heavy. The Rimac Nevera, or Rimac Nevera, if you want to say it properly, that's the only car that doesn't feel really sluggish. But, electric cars have an extra 1,100 kilograms. Basically a ton, guys. So that's why they are a little more sluggish. Okay, now I've got upgrades. I bought all the upgrades I need to finish this event now. By the way, if you want to know about upgrades and all that stuff, there's a 1-minute video. Link is at the end of this video if you just want to go check out that and try this out on your own. Go right ahead. There are some stages you will find difficult. Some people will really find some stages difficult, and you'll need some tips. And you could have a glitch that might lead you to reinstall the game. But it may not be necessary. I guess we'll talk about that when we get there. I'm talking about the very last race. It gave me a lot of trouble, and the only way I could fix it was reinstall the whole game, which is very annoying. But other people got by it their first try, but then other people also had mystery failures, and then it passed them later on. So don't quite know what's going on. The theory, I was talking with some of the EA Creator Network community, and one of the theories they had there was that maybe there was a hidden element they forgot to tell us about. So, usually when it's a no damage stage, you fail as soon as you get damage. Usually if it's a stage that says no off track, you fail as soon as you go off track. So, the one theory I had was maybe they just set the time wrong. But then it did let us eventually pass. Last I checked, we hadn't figured anything out, and I don't think the developers are going to figure anything out because, I don't know, I just don't think they will. Okay, so getting all that stuff streaming in, and people who watch my channel know that this isn't meters, this isn't yards, this isn't feet, this isn't anything other than Roman cubits. Yes, it sounds bizarre, but I did the math on what these units actually are. And when I went looking in the real world for what that measurement is, that's what I came up with. It was Roman cubits, which is hilarious. And way back when, I was talking with the head developer of the game, and they don't seem to know how it happened, but it's here and you can't really undo it. Because if you made this to actual meters or yards, it would make it impossible to do a whole bunch of races in the game. So it's funny. Okay, a lot of this early stuff is not hard, but it does get difficult pretty quick if you don't know certain things. And this isn't difficult. Now, I'm not doing cutting like I could be. I could be cutting this chicane here a big time, and I'm not. Interesting how they huck some of the slow Audis in this one. And there's the Nissan Leaf is in this one. The Porsche Taycan, I think it's Taycan. Yeah, I'll go with that. If I'm wrong, let me know, guys. But there's a mixture of vehicles. There's also some electric Audis in this one as well. So there's the Nissan, I believe. I didn't really go check at the end of the race to see what was what, but it makes sense. We're not going to see anything crazy, like we're not going to have any Avayas or Naveras. That would be crazy, because this car is shockingly slow compared to those cars. I think I understand when I was looking at different footage about this car that you mainly see it doing burnouts. You don't really see it doing impressive lap times, really. And I think I know why, because it's very slow and it doesn't really have the greatest grip. So it's a fun stunting car. But stunting in Real Racing 3 isn't necessarily easy. Mind you, in real life, it's not easy either. Like, it's not just yank the parking brake and go at it. Like, there's a lot of skill involved. But we don't have a parking brake in this game, and I will show you a little bit more about drifting later. Not necessarily a full tutorial, but you can still use your brakes to get a drift going and then use your acceleration to keep it going. But there's a lot of skill involved. I'm trying to remember the one race I was looking at. It was just funny. Ken Block was just doing donuts in an area where you're not really supposed to be doing donuts. The Goodwill, the famous run that they do every year where it's a bunch of timed runs. My brain doesn't want to remember right now. Let's see. We're going to switch over back to KPH because it's giving me that option, and that's more what I'm used to. Interestingly enough, some of the speed targets in certain stages are difficult. Like, surprising that if you don't know certain tricks, you'll have a horrible time with one particular race. I don't remember which one it is, but I'll mention it when we get there. That if you don't know certain things, woo-wee, getting off track there. If you don't know certain tricks, you'll be in trouble because the car will barely hit the required speed. Which, one of the guys in the EA Creator Network figured this out a while back, that sometimes when they're making events, meaning the developers, they just go upgrades from left to right, okay? So they take the engine, they max that out. They go drivetrain, they max that out. They go, what's next? Body, I believe. Without looking, yes, it's body. And then they max that out, and then they get to suspension. And they keep doing that till they hit a certain PR. The problem with that is you end up with a car that has a lot of top speed and horrible cornering. And someone figured that out, and it was confirmed a long time ago now. The developers stopped doing that, but the theory is that maybe the current developers didn't get the notes, because I do not think this game transitioned well at all from Fire Monkeys to Slingshot. So kind of wondering if that might have been what's happening. That's why in certain events like the original Ford Puma event, the rally car, and also the Audi, oh gosh, my brain doesn't want to do this very well, like the 2012 Touring, I think it was. There were certain stages that were basically impossible. Actually, that was different. The Audi problem was totally different. The Ford Puma, though, definitely had this problem where it had a race in the original Limited Series. They fixed it, but in the original Limited Series was impossible if you had the typical upgrades we would get of all threes, even with maximum bot slowing. There's no possible way to do the stage because of they created that car wrong. There's no other way to say it. So anyway, I don't think that's happening here because nothing seemed too crazy. Okay, here we go. This is one that's going to give people trouble. Skidding for 30 seconds in 1 1/3 laps. Well, here's the one thing. Turn all your assists off, okay? It doesn't tell you that, but you kind of need to do that. That's going to help you with this. It's going to help you. So that's one thing you should probably be doing right away. And you can't pass this guy, which gets very annoying because he's incredibly slow. So I stopped for a little bit. He's shockingly slow for a 7th place car. And then I gain on him right away. And I thought, nuts to that. I'm going to create a bigger gap. And I'm going to do it the naughty way. I'm going to back up and smash this guy's front end. That's going to hurt his speed. Doesn't hurt my speed because I used my rear end to do the damage. Have you ever watched Demolition Derbies? One of the secrets to Demolition Derby is use your back end as much as possible to hit the competition, saving your radiator and your engine. Now, if your rear end gets too much damage, you won't be able to turn. You won't be able to drive very well. But mind you, if you've got a front-wheel drive car, that might solve that problem. Although generally, in a Demolition Derby, you use ginormous old beasts of cars. Anyhow, If you smash something with your rear end, it doesn't hurt your speed, it does hurt theirs. Isn't that interesting? All right, so far I've just been kind of doing some skidding. I've got a lot to get in here. The easy part is you don't have to worry about overtaking. So there you go. Oop, that didn't quite work right. But you can see there, I used my brakes to get a skid going, and then I just used the throttle to keep it going. You can't do donuts because this is all-wheel drive, and I couldn't remember if off-track was allowed or not. So I thought I better not spend too much time off-track. But you can really make this thing slide, and you can slide off-track, you can slide wherever you want. You can just do this. So I'm lifting the throttle and I'm reapplying it. If you go back and watch what the accelerator there, you'll notice it was on, off, on, off, on, off. And pretty soon you can see it's really not that difficult. Like, it's not a hard stage because you've got all sorts of time. You just got to make sure you don't get overtaken and you don't overtake anybody. Oh! If I would have known that, I would have got the skidding in way earlier. I did not expect it to just suddenly end. I totally forgot about that. Okay, so this one's interesting too, because we've got a couple of requirements, slipstreaming and a top speed requirement, but the top speed requirement's really easy because I've already hit it twice. So that'll just take care of itself. You don't need to worry about it, it'll just happen. We have to be intentional about the slipstreaming though. Generally what I like to do is I like to get near the front. But what I was finding is that it really matters who you slipstream off of. Some of these cars are atrocious in the corners. So then, if you try to slipstream with an atrocious car, it's a problem. So you gotta just be careful there. So I'm still gonna wait for a bit, although not too much longer. 2,000 meters of slipstreaming goes by like nothing though, because you get 1 meter credit for every 2.25. I said that exact opposite. You get 2.25 meters for every meter you travel. There we go. And if I reverse engineer that, that's how I get Roman cubits. Long time since I looked at it, but it's 44.444 centimeters, 17 point something something inches. I forget the exact measurement. So I decided I'm getting near the end here. I'll slipstream off this guy. He's on the brakes so stinking much. And slipstreaming doesn't kick in until you're hitting a certain speed, about 125 kph, which would be what? 75 miles an hour, roughly. Actually, I might be exactly 75 miles an hour, right around there anyways. And yeah, some people don't know this, but in Canada, our cars have both kilometers and miles an hour. Most of them do, unless you're fully digital. But even then, we can very quickly change your miles per hour to kilometers per hour. That's because the United States is right across the border from us, biggest trading partner, and we need to run miles per hour if we're down there. So there you go. Really easy for us to be used to both of them. Okay, so in this one, overtake 8 opponents cleanly. Possible it ends as soon as I overtake 8 opponents. I don't remember because I was doing this not at the best time of day for me, but that's just kind of how it works. There we go. So eventually, if you're wondering where the update is, if you still are waiting, I did post a little thing about that, but it's weird. This is the first time for me that it updated in the background for me. I opened the game and it had just updated. And maybe that was part of the problem that I ran into later on, but whatever. Oops, almost lost it there. Okay. So I've never had that happen before. I used to reinstall the game with every single update. And that's just because sometimes you get corrupted game files. It just happens. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with your device. Doesn't mean there's anything wrong with the files, like nothing nefarious. What happens is you've got old files and then new files are being brought into the game. Sometimes something in the process just doesn't jive and you get a corrupted game file. So sometimes it could cause your pedals, your gas pedal, brake pedals to not work. Sometimes it can cause handling issues. Sometimes it causes stage issues. And so I used to just reinstall the game every single update. And it does take a while. It's a little longer process than it used to be. It's not that bad though. You just have to make sure you do a cloud save before you do any of the other stuff, or else you could have a nasty surprise. Oh, there we go. It did just end. I like that. That's nice. Okay, so we're getting on here now. We're at stage 3. We're over at Coda. Still pretty easy. This one, you just got to stay undamaged, which really shouldn't be all that difficult. I mean, I could see if maybe you're doing this, maybe you bought minimum upgrades the whole way. I know some people like to do that. I sometimes like to do that, but boy, this car just doesn't feel that inspiring. Honestly, I would pass on this car except for making videos. I probably would not get this car. It's good amount of currency for not so much of a car. So I will not be fully upgrading this without quite the sale. I will be waiting and see what happens. Audis get sales, and so, oh, I went way off track. That's interesting. It was kind of sloppy, but I'll rein that in a little bit. I generally wait for sales before fully upgrading. That's how you manage your currency. So I will just definitely do that. There's some cars, I mean, even fully up, I don't even know if I'll fully upgrade this if there is a sale. I'm just not overly impressed with this car. Doing a big long drift here. You know what? Now that I'm in the lead, let's just go 2.5 times regular speed. Okay, now this would be more fun. Let's see, 2.5 times regular speed, so that would make my speed right now to be like 450, no, 500. Well, that would be fun, wouldn't it? Ooh, that was interesting. Double time would be, if I was running double speed, that might actually be what you see with the Porsche 919 Hybrid Evo. Not quite, though. And sometimes, when an elimination race is ending, I try to do a head-on crash. It's kind of funny when that actually works. So again, this is another one where you've got to get a bunch of skidding in. So let's see here. I think I might have really driven this one carefully until I got right to the end. We'll just see about that. Kind of get the lead first, and not that I don't know if I had to have the lead. Yeah, I don't have to have the lead for this one. So maybe that's not what I'm doing. All that's required is finish in 1 minute 40 seconds, get 20 seconds of skidding in. But sometimes I just challenge myself. Sometimes I just want to accomplish something. And especially if it seems like it's possible, sometimes I make these events harder than they need to be because I want to meet my own goal. So like at this point, I'm in 4th place. It's like, oh, yeah, why don't I just see if I can win this race? And I'm getting probably off track here and there. And I still have to get that drifting in. Like, first place is right there. So I started to realize, okay, can I do a little bit of both of this at the same time? Probably start skidding really early. There we go. How much do I have left to do? Oh, I've got a lot to get in. 15 seconds. I mean, there's probably like 18 seconds left in this lap. I'll drag it out a little bit, but I kind of want to win, so I don't want to give up my lead. Gosh, I still have a lot of drifting to get in, skidding to get in, not drifting. Okay, well, I'll do this a little bit, my back and forth technique. Watching 2nd place. Okay, more. Watching 2nd place. Trying not to really wreck things. There we go. That was razor close. With less than 1 second, I got in all the skidding. Okay, well, that wasn't necessary, but kind of fun. We've got to reach a certain speed 10 times in 2 laps. 2 1/4, 2 1/3 laps. Oh, that happens so easily. Okay, well, you don't have to worry about the speed requirement. It will just take care of itself. Yeah, you can see that. That's not going to be a big deal. So this one is an oopsie. That right there, that Renault, I believe that's the first electric car we had in this game. I'm just trying to think back. It's been in the game for a very long time. So I kind of think that was the first electric car we had. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Someone of the historians might know better, but I'm pretty sure that was the only electric car we had in the game for the longest time. Oh, that's interesting. It's all Renaults so far. Okay, finally, not a Renault. That was getting almost weird. I just thought, is this an all Renault race? Is there something I didn't catch? Hello, my fellow Canadian. At least you're in 3rd place. That's a little bit respectable. Another Renault. How odd. That's a lot of Renaults in one race. Huh. And then there's a Leaf. And what have you. Well, I guess we'll find out where else they're going to take us in this event. Kind of interested to see. Interesting that I've been trying to find out why we don't get Le Mans anymore. I mean, they're not telling, they're not saying. In a way, it's a relief as far as special events are concerned. Le Mans was often where you had to break the piggy bank and spend a lot of gold, because there'd be these high speed requirements and there's no way you could hit the speed without enough upgrades. So it's interesting. I guess we'll just see what they do in place of that. Oh, okay, that's just getting weird. Races don't end like that. I could have just hit that speed requirement extremely early. I didn't know that. That's weird. I'm a little bit surprised, actually, guys. There's a trick how you can hit speed early. You just have to slow down just a tiny bit and you can hit speed multiple times in one section. I'll tell you right now that you do not need to worry about your battery. They give you way more battery than you need for this stage. So I'm kind of surprised. Like, battery is the big unknown. Battery is like fuel. It is completely inconsistent and makes no sense in this game. Like, with fuel, you can have one race where you start with like 20 units of fuel and it lasts for 4 laps. Then you can have another race where they give you like 100 units of fuel and it's gone in 2 laps. It's just, there's no rhyme or reason to how they do it. It's not following really anything real, it seems. So sometimes I don't know. Like, now I'm down almost half my charge, but this is the back section where we really are getting to the end of the lap already, and there's areas that you're slowing down on the brakes, and so that builds up charge. Holy smokes, charge builds up fast. Did I see that right? I'm gonna watch this closely at my next braking point. It looks like charge was building fast. Very surprised. Yeah, I'm very surprised at that. It's building about as fast as it was going down. Oh, no, it's not. Okay, still, I'm surprised. Like I said, lots of charge left over. Really nothing to be worrying about there. Okay, so I've jumped ahead. You might notice I'm skipping some of the screens here, trying to make this a little bit, I don't know, more about the action, I guess. So we're into stage 3 now. That's Suzuka. Suzuka! Some people might remember me doing that. Suzuka! I don't know, it just sounds funny to me. Suzuka. And I like Suzuka. There's a fun glitch at this track. Been in the game for a long time. It only became apparent when slipstreaming started. And it exposed a glitch in the game. It's really not a glitch. It doesn't really hurt anything. But there's a bridge at Suzuka where you can drive over other cars. And if you pay close enough attention, sometimes when you're going over or under the bridge, you get slipstreaming even though there's no one by you. That's because they're on the bridge above you. Well, how does that work? Well, the game doesn't count for vehicles being above or below you. It's just not in the code. And that can be really funny. There was, I don't remember the name of the event right now. Oh gosh, I'm trying to remember. Oh well, it was at Daytona, a road course, I believe, and I was on the speedway section. I don't remember what I was driving. I can't remember if I was driving the Bugatti or if it's the Bugatti that landed on me. But I threw someone into the wall because I was getting bored, and they went way in the air, like 2-3 stories in the air, and landed on me. Well, that's just it. I was going under them, but you can't go under a car in this game. The coding doesn't work that way. So it showed me getting hit, even though I didn't. It's really funny. So anyway, Suzuka is where I first started noticing that there's a funny coding thing where they just never counted on you flying over another car. There's very few places you could actually fly over a car here. Laguna Seca, you could kind of do it. Maybe? Pretty hard. Just thinking of that corkscrew. Very few cars would be able to pull that off. There's quite a few cars that can jump at Laguna Seca, but you've got to be jumping before you crossing the road, which is very unlikely. Anyway, here we go. Not a challenge at all. This is not a hard race. I don't remember much trouble at Suzuka, to be honest. Yeah, so maintain a certain average speed. That's not hard. With these upgrades, I mean, I really would recommend, if you're going to do this event, just add those upgrades right away, because, oh my gosh, it's a little bit of a torturous thing to be driving this car with no upgrades. Thread the needle, baby. That was kind of fun. Okay, so hitting average speed, come on, pretty soon. There we go. And there's really only one lap. I don't mind that, because this is a slow car. I do not mind that we don't have like 4-lap races in a very slow car. Honestly, I probably will not do one race with this car after I earn it. It's not something I want to drive. And yeah, I'll go earn other gold. I'll go earn gold other ways if I end up needing it. Like, my main source of gold is time trial, doing events, and I mean, online multiplayer, I know that sounds funny, but I think I've had as much as 33 or 35 gold in a week on online multiplayer. You got to get crazy high in the points to get that. Does that sound right? I think I had like 1,600 points once, 16 something. I forget what it was. I could be wrong about that. Maybe it was just in the 20s, but I thought I was getting around 30 something. Anyway, it's not very much. You get more in weekly time trial, and it's a lot safer there. Like, Group A is brutally hard. I think I've had about 30 to 35 Group A finishes in 10 years, which is not very much in a 10-year span, but that is still quite the accomplishment. That means you're in the top 0.1%. So that's a very, very, very elite group of people to be in. And yet I know people who do that every single week, and it doesn't seem all that hard for them. It's brutally hard for me. Okay, obviously this race is not difficult because I'm yammering on. And yeah, nothing to worry about here. The average speed is, I'm a lot over the average speed requirement. Let's get on to the next one. Eventually things do start to get a little bit tricky. Finish in the top 5. Yeah, that shouldn't be hard at all. There is tire wear though. So you want to make your gains as fast as possible. Generally speaking, you can kind of drive the car at its full ability until it gets down to about 80%. That's what I've kind of found with this. Do not go off track. You can get 2 tires off track and it won't hurt your tires. If you get all 4 tires off track and you slide, that number is going to drop like a rock. Actually, anytime you get all 4 tires off track, that your tires are going to degrade much quicker. So don't do that. 2 tires off track's fine, 4 is not. So you definitely want to avoid that. I'm probably not going to get much more than 5th place, I'm guessing. I'm already babying this thing a little bit because it just feels like it's wanting to step out. Not sure if it's just if you can see it there. It just feels so heavy. Man, this thing feels heavy. And it is. It's because it is. They're heavy cars. That's probably actually what leads to them being like, Ken Block's crazy stuff he was doing with all the smoke coming off the wheels. Yeah, it's stinking heavy, so it slides easier. And it's actually might be easier to drift a car like this just because there's a lot of weight to fling around. Okay, I'm in 5th place and my tires are only at like 73. I'm a little bit surprised, actually. They're not degrading very fast. We've had events where the tires wear just dropped. And like where you're getting to the end of the race and it's like 5%. And forget about being bald tires. That's like driving with no tires. That's just like rims on asphalt. Or ice driving, if you've ever done that, which I've done a lot of here in Canada. It's very good to know how to drive on ice, but you do need proper tires. If you have the wrong tires, it is not much skill involved. You'll just be a wreck. Which reminds me, I've got to get my winter tires on. It's, well, like, duh, it's middle of October everywhere in the world. But in Canada, that means we're getting very close to winter. Like, we actually had a snowstorm here once where I am. But it's already melted, which is normal. Usually don't get snow that lasts until November. Okay, so we've got a speed target here. This is the one, this is difficult. The speed target here, you will not hit the speed target here enough times if you don't know a trick. And I'll talk about that as we do it. So I forget the exact amount. Can't remember if it's a percentage or I think it's a fixed number. It might be 10 kilometers an hour that you have to drop your speed by. Maybe it's just 5. Just see here. So I hit the speed, 225. Now I didn't realize it, so I didn't do it here. I should have been hitting the speed like 3-4 times on this section. And I didn't really think it through. And I mean, I still made it work. But you do have to hit speed multiple times in one of these sections, or a couple of them, or you will not do this. So, you know, I've been saying multiple times throughout this video that, oh, don't worry about the speed target, it will just meet itself. That will not happen here. You will not meet the speed target if you are not purposeful about it. And it's very hard, actually. Like, even here, I don't think I can hit it here. Maybe I could have. Oh, I actually maybe could have. I was just worried about going off track and failing. So I could have pushed it a tiny bit further. And also I had a vehicle right in my way when I was driving out of the one corner, so that really hurt my speed run. Here's another section where I'm heading into Spoon Corner going uphill, and that's really going to hurt my speed run. Oh, I could have slipstreamed him a little bit. Oh well. And the speed plateaus right before it hits that 225 mark. Come on, man. Okay, here's going to be a nice speed run. Go downhill for a bit. Then we go uphill, but then it plateaus. So you'll see what I mean here. I'm going to hit 225. I might not hit it twice here, though. Yeah. But I'll slow down a little bit here so I can hit it again. Oh, I didn't slow down enough. Oh, well. Okay, start, finish, straight. I need to hit this, like, probably at least 3 or 4 times. Because look at that, guys. Oh, that's sucky. Come on, man. I'm in the lead, though. I went to the far left to try to increase the distance of a lap. 225, drop speed. Oh, so you don't have to go down a full 10. It must be like 5 or 6 then. So you see that? I hit speed 3 times there. It was at 2 and now it's at 5. Yep, hit speed 3 times. So that means I'll have to... Coming out of Spoon Corner, I'll try to do a better job and see if I can hit speed 3 times there. I'm curious about coming out of this corner. My drive out is horrible. This guy's right in my way. Oh, and I lose it. And I lose it. That's going to kill my drive out. Okay, well, never mind that. I think you could hit 225 right here if you had a better drive out of that corner. I blew it, so never mind that nonsense. I believe leaving Spoon Corner, I'll hit speed this time. Like 2, maybe even 3 times. We'll see what I can do. That was not the best approach to that corner. Now, if I go far left, let's see. Can I build? Can I hit one here? Increasing track length. Plateaus, 224. I just didn't want to hit it. And I drove that in kind of deep, man. Okay, there we go, there we go. A little bit careful. Okay, there we go. Hitting that 2. Now it's driving uphill. Then we go downhill. Not by a lot. Come on, hit it again, hit it again. Yeah, okay, now we know I can easily hit it. I'll easily hit this next one before the start-finish line. So there you go. You've got to do that for this particular race, or you will not hit the requirements. That's the trick. You got to slow down by at least 5. Maybe it's just 6 kilometers an hour. Miles an hour, I don't know. 3. We'll just say 3. I'll say 4. Okay, so we're into stage 5 now. And this one's a little bit stupid. Not super stupid, but a little bit stupid and a little bit annoying. We've had this before, where there's been like a maximum speed you're allowed to hit. And that's not necessarily a bad idea. Like, I don't think in racing, the only time you might run into this kind of problem is if you were having engine issues and you were having to keep the RPMs a bit lower. That would make sense to me. Otherwise, no. Fuel saving strategy, I could also see that too, but usually that's not how you save fuel in a race, by just limiting your top speed. Usually it's going to be like lifting a little earlier before a corner, getting to the throttle a little later. You're not going to kill your top speed, generally speaking. So watch this. See how I'm feathering like crazy? You've got to find a feathering rhythm, because at certain points you can't be staring at your speed. So you find your feathering rhythm, that you can trust your rhythm, and then you can look up and watch. You can watch traffic, and then you feather. And so you got to find your rhythm. And I'm looking down. Okay, my rhythm's a bit slow. Increase that a little bit. I really should be hitting more. Like, I was watching the distance too much. Really should be hitting that more 205 area. You can see that you end up having people right on you. But then I can probably drive through almost this whole thing without braking, I would think. Mr. Tycon. I got a little bit nervous there. So the problem is, if I overtake this guy, he's braking at the exit of Chapel? That's just ludicrous. Why would you do that? I don't get some of that about the core programming here. Same with the Ascari chicane at Monza. They brake at the exit of Ascari. Like, you don't brake at the exit of a corner. You're full throttle. Very strange. But I shouldn't complain, because that's why we can sometimes win events with very low upgrades, is because of stupid bots. Okay, I want to make sure I don't hit 209. This does accelerate quite quickly. Oh, there we go. Won that race. Annoying one, but I did it. Yeehaw. This one is uber annoying. Like, really big time annoying. You'll fail right as soon as this goes, almost right after this goes green, if you're not careful, because your average speed happens so quickly. So skidding definitely hurts your average speed, Mr. Tycon. Now, the nice thing, if you go really slow for a while, then you can go really fast for a while. See? I'm going fast. But then you got to really nail it, Mr. Tycon. You got to really nail those brakes. Like, you can be doing like 220 and wait till like 155 to nail your brakes once you've built up a decent amount of average speed. So you're doing all this. It registers a pretty slow speed when you're doing that. Okay, so watch this. I'm going to drive it pretty deep. Actually, I might just take this to the natural braking point. Oh yeah, I could have driven it deeper. But we got 30 seconds of drifting to get in. Now here's the other problem. There's another whole lap yet. And we're getting to the back section of this. Honestly, I really wish they would have chosen a different Silverstone variant and not Bridge Circuit. Like National, International, not the Grand Prix circuits. It's just too many long sections here. So now, look at this. I'm right near 160. Like, I'm getting razor close. Okay, so here I am now, and I've got all of this left to go through. And I'm going to go at nosebleed speeds. Come on, man. So I might as well just get some skidding in, and still. It's just annoying. Like, a whole nother lap of this nonsense. And then I realized, wait a second, don't I have to be in a certain position? Why, yes, I do have to be in a certain position. I've got to be in 8th place. And I just let 2 cars go. I completely lost my mind. So now, what am I supposed to do? I've got the Vale chicane, so I can really waste some speed there. I don't have to do any more skidding, though. But what am I supposed to do? I'm at the mercy of these guys being stupid, so I smash him off track. Didn't do too much to him, honestly. Drive this in pretty deep. Like, look at that, 157, 158. There's no reason to skid. I'm just going to have to do some smashing. So I'm going to late brake and smash this guy off track. Try to. That really didn't get him very far, though, did I? Nope. I didn't do much damage to him at all. I mean, yeah, I'm in the lead, but it's not going to last all that long. Because I've got all of these long sections to go through. You know, it almost looks like they're hitting lapped traffic up there. I would love to get one of those guys, smash them, get them behind me. I know I don't have to be drifting, but I'm just building up some lower speed because it doesn't even make sense. What am I supposed to do? I mean, I'm getting super close to failing this stage. Like, yeah, what am I now? I'm almost feels like I'm driving in a yellow flag. Of course, this is way too fast for yellow, but it's just what it feels like. And I'm at the mercy of these yahoos behind me. So I'm blocking. And I that's what I'm realizing, you know, I'm just going to have to smash them because there's no way. Based on my experience from the last lap, they're about going to take off and I won't catch them till after the start-finish line. So, anticipate when they're going to go by you, get up there, smash them. And yes, listen to this. That crash right after he went past me was him hitting the other Taycan. 2 Porsche Taycans smashing each other. It's hilarious. I love it. And now I'm just having to block. This I can manage because they're, ooh, wow. Looks like they really lost it. Okay, there we go. That'll end this. This is one of the more obnoxious stages I've encountered. I didn't like that at all. For some reason, I guess the developers thought this would be good. I don't think that made any sense at all, actually. But, oh well, that's what they decided to do. Finish each lap in 120 seconds and overtake 10 opponents. Okay, obviously, it won't end after we pass 10 opponents because there's a time requirement. 120 seconds, that's 2 full minutes. That is a shockingly long time to give us. I'm actually surprised at that. Like, there's not a lot of cars that take 2 full minutes to get around this track. But okay, whatever. I'm going to drive it hard because it's a good learning to just see how, you know, where do you have to drive it? How do you have to drive it to have a fast lap? So that's what I'm trying to figure out. How deep can I brake? That was not an optimal brake line. Race line, sorry. Losing it a little bit there. It's funny, when I first saw this car, I thought, what, did they put a snowplow in the game? It's just what I thought of because of, I guess, Canadian brain, seeing snowplows and things like that. Not all Canadians are like me. There's parts of Canada that get very little snow. But definitely there are quite a lot of parts of Canada that get snow, and some parts get a humongous amount of snow. And in case you're wondering, we get points in Canada where, like, we're this winter, and almost every winter, you have some period where it gets down to minus 40 at night. And minus 40 Celsius is the same thing as minus 40 Fahrenheit for people who use Fahrenheit. So yeah, it gets pretty crazy. But, oh well, we're used to it. To make sure things are repaired before it gets that cold. A lot of furnaces can break down, and vehicles break down when it's that cold. Okay, so 1 more to go, and then I have a whole lap after this, and there's my 1 more to go. So, and there's my 1 more that I don't have to pass. That is surprising. So why don't we skip the last lap? What's the point? Let's do a real nice little warp here. That was seamless. We just skipped a lap, guys. That was a pretty good warp, actually. I do work on those edits. Okay. Avoid the crash. Singular. The crash. Okay, I just want to point that out. The crash. So, instead of it being a crash, it's just like, there's just dead cars at Stowe, and they're getting smashed into. So that's what you have to avoid. Dead cars all over the place. That's not a crash. Those are dead cars, and you don't race at full speed when there's dead cars on the track. It's a caution lap. This does bother me a bit, because that's not realistic. You don't continue racing full speed when there's crashed cars. Like, the only time I see them do that, okay, if we're talking NASCAR, let's go to NASCAR, because that's a great example of this. If it's the last lap and they know that the cars are going to be a lot slower the next time they come around, if there's a big wreck and people have cleared, they let it play. Otherwise, no, they don't do that. And I know in Formula One and other places like that, there's no way you're running around a track at full speed when there's multiple cars wrecked on the track. So this is not real racing. That is unreal racing. In the past, they would say things like, oh, the batteries have died, or things like that. Or we had one event that it was supposed to be like, it was weird. It was like we were supposed to be in some virtual world controlling cars, and a whole bunch of them glitched. That makes sense. If it's virtual, no one's going to get hurt. This is supposed to be real. Oh well, I'll let it go. Okay, so what we know is getting to Stowe, prepare for madness. Like, the cars might have shifted positions now because there's been more guys driving by and they might have smashed more cars. And so we don't know where they're going to be when we get there. So you don't want to be, most likely we're going to have one right in the high point of Stowe where I would want to drive. So I'm going to take note of that and just be careful. Oh, no, he's down there. Oh, but then he's up there. Audi there. One, two, three, four. Okay, so 4 dead cars. Oopsie, and 2 living ones. In my way. Well, it's about the best I could do was 3rd. I only had to have 5th, so I don't mind that. Okay, so this should be taking us to the last race, and I'm going to show you a couple of pieces of footage before I show you the full race, because I was having a lot of issues here. Okay, so here I am, finishing the race. I've met the requirement, and my clock is running down. But look, it's 9, 8, okay, 7 seconds, 7+ seconds on the clock, no green banner, red banner. So I fully upgraded to do a test, all right? Fully upgraded. 16+ seconds on the clock, no green banner, I failed. And this, I was convinced it was wrecked, and I was posting on the EA Creator Network, and then the guy said, whoa, like, lots of us passed this. Okay, so obviously I had corrupted game files, and like I was saying, this just happens sometimes. New files merging with old files, sometimes something goes wrong. I used to preemptively reinstall the game every single update. I'm probably going to go back to that because I hate having this happen. It really threw a wrench in things for me. It cost me more time when I'd already lost a bunch of time. So this is my first time doing this after I reinstalled the whole game. And I've made a video about how to do that if you're nervous about that. But basically, you just need to do a cloud save, delete the game, download the game. You don't have to do that first race to hit pause and end the race. And usually it'll say, once you log in, usually it'll say, oh, there's a save of your progress here. Do you want it? And you go, yeah. Or you can do a manual cloud restore. Oop, lost a little bit there. And that's about it. And then you just, it takes a while though. I had to download all assets. You've got to enter in your birth date. Well, just your month and your year. By the way, something a lot of people don't know about. If you don't see online multiplayer, it's because it's considering you to be 18 or under, or maybe under 18 years of age. So when you reinstall the game, you need to make sure you have that so that you're over 18. And if you are over 18 and you haven't reinstalled the game for a long time, it's possible that it just doesn't recognize you as maybe it just didn't log you in properly, or maybe you've got some corrupted files. If you care about online multiplayer, I do. I love online multiplayer. One of my favorite things, actually. I do wish that the rewards were higher, but I bet you we'd get a lot more hacking there if the rewards were higher. It used to, a long time ago. Online multiplayer was very different, and rewards were higher, and pretty well everyone in the top was hackers. So, at least that's how it seemed at the time. I might have been wrong, but some of them definitely were. Okay, so I've got a lot of time left over here. So the fully upgrading, obviously, I when I did my deleted the game and reinstalled it, I undid that fully upgrading. So I did a cloud restore, and then I deleted the game, and so I kind of did the opposite. But I knew I had just done a recent cloud save. So that's why I did a cloud restore to undo fully upgrading the car. So here I'm running with minimum upgrades again. Like just what I showed you. Well, I guess I never did show it. I had it in my short video, but the minimum upgrades are 335, 333, and it's in the short video that I'll link at the end here. I used to put it all in one video, but then so many people, it's actually really frustrating when you put like 6 hours of work into a video and someone says, well, what are the upgrades? Well, okay, it was 20 seconds in the video. Like, you literally can't watch 20 seconds. So I thought, fine, whatever, I'll just do a separate video. And I'm probably going to get bombarded in this video saying, well, you never showed the upgrades. So sometimes you can't win. I'm not too worried about it. I just thought I'd get the upgrades out to you right away because it takes a lot of time for me to edit down all this footage and make it look enjoyable, do all the timestamps, do all the editing, all the uploading, all that stuff takes a lot of time. So I just thought, hey, I'll get you guys those upgrades fast, and then if you're stuck, you can check this video. So here I am, I'm finishing this off. Might be faster than my prior run. That one run I was like, with these upgrades, I was 7 and some seconds, and I've been losing it here and there. Wow, I was a lot faster. Holy smokes, I was a lot faster. That's impressive. ME7, good job, buddy. Okay, well, there we go. So here's the video with the upgrades. Here's some other videos you might like. Please subscribe, and I will see you out there on the track.